What I have here is the Supcase UB Grip Series MagSafe case for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8, which Supcase kindly sent out to me for review. This is a military grade case that features a built-in screen protector and a MagSafe compatible magnet that doubles as a kickstand. The box includes an extended warranty, an instruction manual, and the top and bottom half of the case. One major omission from the package is the lack of wet wipes, dry wipes, or dust stickers. So I had to steal a wet wipe and dry wipe from a camera cleaning kit that I own. It's incredibly straightforward to clip the front of the case onto the Fold 8, though I did somehow manage to get a few specks of dust under the protector after installing. So I had to use my air blower a few times to clean it all up. I was then able to clip the back casing onto the phone. The case fits the Fold 8 well, though obviously a case like this that offers drop protection adds additional size and weight to the phone, with my scale showing the weight of the phone increasing by 73 grams. So the UB Grip case has been on my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 for the last 4 or 5 days. So during this week I've been using my phone at work and in a number of different scenarios, such as out and about, out at a restaurant, etc. So I've got an idea as to what this case is all about. But before I talk more about the case, I want to talk about price. On the official Supcase website, this retails at between $100 and $120. But as I record this right now, it's on Amazon UK for £67. And that puts it slightly above some of Spigen's cases, but a lot below the official Samsung cases. At least they're top of the line ones, but those Samsung cases don't really offer any protection at all, in my opinion. So this is not the cheapest third-party case out there. It's kind of mid to higher end. It's not the most expensive, but it's kind of maybe middle to higher end of the case market. But what do you get for that? What do you get for that price? Well, look at it. You can see what you get. Protection. And that's one of the reasons why I've got a lot of Supcase products. You may recall that I do have some miscellaneous Supcase cases, like one for my AirPods, one for a MagSafe wallet. But the one that I've used the most this year is probably this one. This is the case I've been using with my iPhone 17 Pro Max. And it's a very similar design. As you can see, the stand, etc. is almost identical. And this has been an amazing case for me. I've loved it. Fantastic case. Absolutely solid. But one of the things that you have to exchange, well, as I said, size and weight. I used the Fold 8 for a few days with no case, just around the house. And it was really nice to use it. It was a little bit slippy, but it was really light. Since I put this case on, yes, it is bigger, it is heavier, but I get drop protection. I've got a lot of protection for the phone. And for me, I think this is important. I get grip. You might be aware of this. I'm sure you are. But most modern phones, they feel and look amazing in your hand with no case. But they are super slippy, really slippy. And this addresses one of the problems with that. And that this is so nice to hold. There's just so much grip. You can see all these kind of ridges around the side here. It's just so nice to hold. You don't ever feel like you're going to drop this by accident. So obviously there's lots of grip here, little points around here. Very nice, these grooves, but you can hold it like that as well. So this kickstand, I know not everyone wants a kickstand. I'm a huge fan of them, and especially these Supcase ones because they work as a stand and you can put it in lots of different situations. Whatever you want, you can put it in any position you want, but this obviously works in many different ways. You can use it for MagSafe products, and of course a MagSafe wallet like this is designed more for larger phones because the Fold 8 is quite small, but you can see that magnet is super strong, so that's not going anywhere. So it's really strong, which is important because it means that you can use Qi wireless chargers. So that's good, and it works great. Now, on the last case I was showing you there, this one had a dust cover. It's got a dust cover there, which I'll be honest, yes, it does offer dust protection. I was never a fan of it because I found it annoying to take off whenever I wanted to charge my phone. But yeah, we don't have a dust cover here, so it's just a matter of plugging the cable in. But as you can see, there is a little bit of a space there for the charging cable. There's cutouts for speakers and mics and whatnot. But we also have an area here. Now you'll notice this in a lot of Fold 8 cases. If you've been looking at cases, you've probably noticed this. Why is this not continuous like that? Why don't we have continuous protection around the phone? Well, that's because this isn't just the power button. This is also the fingerprint reader. So this gives you exposure to the fingerprint sensor, and that's important. So what they've done is created a little valley, a little groove, so that you can still get access to the fingerprint reader. Now, it's maybe hard to show unless I get it in focus here, but see this part here, the other side here? This is actually raised higher. So this is higher than that side. So there is protection on this side, and then it goes down a little bit lower here. Now, what that means is that, you know, without a case, your finger would, when you do the fingerprint sensor, it would kind of be touching both sides of the phone. But here, you know, if you touch that ridge more than this side, then you're not going to catch the fingerprint sensor. But as you can see, you know, there's no issues there. I've not had any issues using this fingerprint sensor. It's maybe a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to use it without a case because there's no protection here, but I think that's a good trade-off, that you've got protection on this side. And obviously because this is indented, there's less chance of it being hit. It's not impossible, but yeah. I've also got the volume buttons up here as well. Volume rocker. Those are really clicky, really nice. Yeah, kind of clear, clicky buttons. Now, one thing that affects those of us in the UK, I don't think it's an issue in the USA because they've kind of went eSIM, but for us in the UK, one issue is that the front casing here is actually blocking the SIM ejector tool area. So not the SIM ejector tool, the SIM card slot. So the SIM card slot is actually below here in this area here. So if you do want to use, if you do want to change your SIM card, you will have to take that front casing off and then eject the SIM card, put your new one in, and then replace the front casing. So that's something to be aware of, but that's kind of expected. You know, it's the same with this one. The SIM card slot is covered. So you do want that protected, but just be aware, if you want access to the SIM card slot, you're going to have to take the front cover off. And to get the front cover off, what you do is do that with a hinge. So this hinge is part of the back casing. It's really nice, actually really strong. But once that part is exposed, you then get access to here and you can just peel that part off. It's very easy to do. So yeah, it's a nice design. Good protection for the hinge there. Now, I think as a case, it's excellent. You know, it wirelessly charges. You've got a kickstand. You've got amazing protection. There's protection for the cameras there because it's, you know, you can sit this down. And when you do sit it down, yes, there's a little bit of wobble. Not as bad as when the phone is naked, but it does still wobble a little bit because of the cameras. But yeah, we've got great protection all around the phone. So that's kind of what you're paying for here. That's what this phone case is all about. But this screen protector at the front, I've seen some companies not offer a screen protector like this, but there's a huge number of companies out there. I've seen them on Amazon that sell cases that offer very similar protection to this. And by that, I mean they've got a screen protector built into the front casing. So it is common now to see that, but I'm not sure if I'm really behind that. I would prefer, a proper tempered glass screen protector that was high quality rather than this. One reason for that is, well, this is my iPad and this has got a Supcase case and this has got one of those kind of plastic screen protectors on top, and you can see that it gets very dirty very easily, and a lot of the kind of dust marks and marks here, they're not actually at the top, they're actually in the inside. So every now and then I have to remove that top part and give it a clean because it just gets dirty and grubby. Another case, this is a case that I don't think I reviewed actually for the iPhone 17 Pro Max last year, and I loved this case. This was so nice, and it was like super protection, military grade protection. But the reason I didn't use it and then subsequently didn't review it, because I feel like I have to use a case for a long time before I can review it. The reason I didn't review it is because of that. You see it there? So that got scratched after like a day, and I hadn't even taken it outside. Now, that's the risk for me. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but that is the risk for cases like this where the screen protector is built into the casing. Because if that gets damaged any of the way, then, well, you can't really use the case anymore, or you're going to have to use it with a scratch. So far, the screen protector does feel solid. It does offer good protection. I mean, up close though, the screen just doesn't look as good as it should be if you didn't have that on top. It's not terrible, but you're certainly losing a little bit of kind of the visual quality of your display. It looks a little bit kind of, I don't know, it's hard to show in the camera, but it just doesn't, it looks a little bit more washed out, not as nice as looking directly at your beautiful screen. So I think proper tempered glass screen protectors look better than this. I really wish companies like Supcase would offer, I don't know, a variation where you could buy this case without that screen protector. I think that would be my preference, to put my own screen protector on or not use any at all. But yeah, it's part of the case. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it is something to be aware of, that if you do damage this screen protector in any way, then, well, it kind of affects the whole case. I do think the case looks good though. Let me know what you think. But yeah, this case does add bulk. It does add a little bit of weight, but you're going to make your phone really nice to hold in the hand, really grippy. Kickstand, and you get a lot of protection for your new expensive Galaxy Z Fold 8. So if you are looking for more protection than a lot of cases out there, this is definitely one of the best, I would say, one of the better options. Very practical as well with a kickstand. So yeah, this is a case that I can recommend, but check out the official website and, you know, check what others have said about it as well, and have a think about what you think about built-in screen protectors into casing. Some people like it, some people don't, but just have a think about it. But thanks to Supcase for sending this out. As you know, I do appreciate companies that do that, but it doesn't affect my opinion of what they send out. But my experience of this so far has been, it's been a solid case. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions about the case, please do post a comment down below. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take care.